What if a river could remember pain? There's a place along the River Niger that locals refuse to cross after dark. They call it Satan's Bend, a sharp, twisting section of the river where ships disappear without warning. Boats capsize in calm weather. Bodies vanish without a trace. And survivors speak of voices rising from the deep. The locals have a chilling explanation: this water is cursed, a voodoo vengeance tied to a dark chapter of forgotten history, where sacrificed slaves were thrown to the river gods, bound in chains, screaming into the current. But is this just legend? Or is something older, something angry, still lurking beneath those murky waters? Stay with us as we uncover the secrets of Satan's Bend, and a curse that may have been carried by blood, by betrayal, and by the river itself. The River Niger has been a lifeline in West Africa for centuries, cutting through cultures, kingdoms, and colonial ambitions. For ancient civilizations like the Songhai and Mali empires, it was a source of trade, agriculture, and spiritual connection. But by the 17th century, this river of life had become a highway of death. As European powers expanded their grip on West Africa, the Niger was transformed into a slave route, funneling captured men, women, and children toward coastal slave ports, and ultimately to foreign lands. It's said that those who resisted were sacrificed, thrown overboard, drowned at key bends in the river to appease ancestral spirits, or to send a warning. One of these places was Satan's Bend. Satan's Bend is not marked on modern maps. But fishermen near Lokoja, Onitsha, and deep into the Niger Delta all speak of it. It's described as a spot where the river curves violently, where the current shifts in unnatural ways. Multiple accidents have occurred here across generations. Modern cargo vessels have reportedly capsized without collision. Local fishermen claim to see faces in the water. One man said he heard chanting, though there was no one around. Historians and anthropologists investigating the area have uncovered oral histories of ritual sacrifice linked to river deities like Ogun and Oya, combined with syncretic voodoo practices that arose during the transatlantic slave trade. In certain rituals, it said slaves were given to the river either to protect others or to bind oaths with powerful spirits. The river, in these ceremonies, was both executioner and witness. European colonial documents from the 18th and 19th centuries, found in British archives, refer to parts of the Niger as treacherous water zones. Ship logs detail odd disruptions: compasses spinning, crews going mad with fever, ships damaged with no cause. A letter from a Scottish naval officer dated 1823 describes the water near a certain bend as unnavigable, cursed, full of unnatural eddies. He mentions bones found on a nearby sandbank, stacked as if by ritual. Could this be Satan's Bend? Archaeological digs have since found rusted manacles, beads, and fragments of colonial-era wood deep in the riverbed near these areas, some dated to the height of the slave trade. Today, voodoo isn't just a relic, it's a living tradition, especially in West Africa. In communities along the Niger, rituals to appease water spirits are still practiced. Elders warn youths never to speak the names of certain drowned ancestors. Shrines have been erected near dangerous water bends. And strangely, many local transport companies refuse to cross Satan's Bend at night. Some say a child disappeared in 1997, taken from a canoe in plain view. Others believe the river chooses its victims, especially those with ancestors tied to the slave trade. Are these just superstitions, or inherited trauma echoing through time? To get this story, we consulted with West African historians, oral storytellers, and former fishermen who live near the river. What we found was chilling. Even scientists studying underwater topography of the Niger have acknowledged unusual turbulence in some river segments, eddies that defy standard flow models. Some geologists suggest ancient volcanic rock beneath the river could explain anomalies. But others quietly admit, some parts of the Niger defy logic. The deeper we dug, the more it felt like the river didn't want to give up its secrets. What does Satan's Bend teach us today? It reminds us that the past never dies where memory lives. That trauma can linger not only in families, but in places. And that stories dismissed as myth often hold buried truths modern history refuses to face. The Niger still flows. But maybe, just maybe, it's still carrying the screams of those it once swallowed. If the waters of Satan's Bend truly hold a curse, then it is a curse written in blood, sealed by chains, and whispered from generation to generation. What other forgotten wounds have we allowed history to wash away? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe in the curse of the Niger? Or is the real horror what humans did there, long ago? Like this video, subscribe to DarkTruth TV, and join us as we continue exposing the untold, the buried, and the haunted side of history. Because sometimes, the past refuses to stay silent.